drummingforlife.com.
Hey there, it's Vaughn at drummingforlife.com. Aloha. I hope you're doing well. So today I want to share with you about how to choose the right drum fill for the kind of music you're playing or style of music you're playing. If you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and be sure to swish that like button and leave me a comment. I'd love to connect with you, and I do respond to all of my comments. Now, I was working a lot in Hawaii before I moved to Japan, and I played with a really great bassist there named Dean Taba. He was a first call LA jazz musician and moved back to Hawaii where he was from, and we used to do a lot of gigs together. And Dean used to say that when you play with drummers, it was always important that the drummers play a fill that matches the kind of the meter or the overall feeling of the music that we're playing. So for example, if I'm playing a swing kind of groove, I'm not going to play a pop drum fill over that. So check this out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can hear that, boom. Now that's a really common pop drum fill. It doesn't belong in the context of jazz. I'm sure you could hear that, right? If you've got this triplet feel, this triplet-based feel going on, and then suddenly you've dropped it into this kind of straight eighths, straight 16th notes feel. Doesn't work so good, all right? So we've got to be cognizant always of what the feel is of the music we're playing, and make sure that we try to match that feeling with our drum fills. So let me give you an example of what might work a little better. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So instead I'm using a triplet-based fill, which is just like this. This kind of thing. It's all triplet based, right? It fits so much better. And this is also the case too if you're going to do kind of the opposite. So if you're playing a lot of stuff and it's a real kind of like say 4 on the floor, funk kind of thing, going into triplets may not be the best idea. It can work, but it's usually so foreign from the feel that's going on that it's kind of distracting musically. So check this out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So I'm sure you could hear it was like, wait a minute, we're grooving over here and we're doing this kind of straight thing, and then we're doing triplets. Now, if there's an arrangement and the horns are going da da ba 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 da ba ba do ba ba do, well then of course it works. But in general, and there's no hard and fast rule here, but I just want you to know that in general you want to match the feeling of what you're playing. So your fills really are important, and they further support the musical ideas that are going on around you. So for instance, if somebody else is also playing, and like this maybe piano solo, playing some heavy triplet feel, and you're doing straight stuff, probably not going to work. It may work a little bit, but not a lot. And the opposite is true. If there's a heavy 16th note kind of stuff going on the keyboard and you're doing all kinds of triplet stuff, it's probably not going to line up well. So just some ideas to think about when you're doing your drum fills. And this is something that, these are kind of the little details that I think we maybe don't learn or aren't really taught to us, but they were taught to me by musicians in real musical situations, on gigs, saying, hey, don't do that. And I went, oh, okay. And then I learned and I stopped doing it and I learned how to do it better. Now with all things drumming, of course, there are exceptions. And one of the exceptions is if I'm going to play jazz swing, I do have an opportunity to double time straight notes. And when I do that, it kind of still fits, it still works, but it needs to be connected to other triplet notes as well. So let me give you an example. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you might have noticed I played some straight stuff, but I ended with triplet each time. The kind of first example was like straight stuff, double time, right? So by the way, single time would be like this. Regular time would be like this. By the way, I'm just playing paradiddles, kind of paradiddle variations. All right? And if I want to double time it, here's the time. Or double time. Right? Kind of like that. So, but what happens is I don't stay there. What I do, because I'm actually coming from a swing groove, a triplet bass groove, and I'm returning to a triplet bass groove. So what I do is I kind of put a little bit of triplet on the end of my drum fill so that I connect back to that triplet feel. If I go from straight directly into that triplet feel, it's not such a smooth thing. Check this out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So you could hear that in the first example that it works. You can do it in a pinch. You can get those straight notes to line up with the triplet notes going back into your groove. But it's more seamless if you just put a little bit of triplet action on the end of your fill to go back into that swing groove. So just a couple of examples where I just want you to see that really if you can always be thinking of and always be cognizant of the overall feel of the music that you're playing, your drum fills will start to kind of naturally match that feel. So just a couple more things I want to share with you. I have a blog I've been writing specifically for drummers, and I've been doing that for about 1.5 years, and lots of great stuff up there at vonbaronmusic.com. I hope you'll go check that out. I also have private Zoom lessons, and you can sign up for those at vonbaronstore.com, and while you're there you can also pick up some drumless tracks, some drum practice tracks to work on your jazz drumming. I also have my jazzdrumschool.com, and I've got a couple of great courses up there. One is the Brushes Mastery course, which is all about making brushes the best part of your jazz drumming. And the other course I have now is a new course, and it's the Intro to Jazz Drumming, and it's a great primer, a great introduction to jazz drumming. So I know you'll love that if it's jazz drumming, something that you're really wanting to get under your belt. The last thing I have for you is a monthly newsletter, and it's my Keep On Drumming newsletter. And every month I share tips about drumming, and I share videos maybe you haven't seen yet to help with your drumming, and blog posts maybe you haven't read yet, and other great things. I also have discounts to products and to my courses. So I hope you'll sign up for that, and all the links to those are below in the description. So thanks so much again for watching, and as I always say, keep on drumming. Take care.
drummingforlife.com